fashion manager at Nylon, and I'm here with Hayley Williams of Paramore and Brian O'Connor, who is her business partner in Good Die Young. And we're gonna kind of play around with some of the products, namely the new one, which is Poser Paste.
Yes.
In all these amazing colors.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, they have cool names?
Yeah.
So the names for the colors are directly after our semi-permanent. So we have X-Girl, Blue Ruin, Riot, and Steal My Sunshine.
Cute. And so Hayley, you kind of iconically have had a lot of hair colors, and namely, like, your most iconic was that bright orange.
Yeah.
Kind of like rocking some now. What was kind of like the moment that you were like, it just really makes sense for me to get into hair dyes?
Oh man, I mean, there was like a year, and I think 2007 was probably the year. I had met Brian the year before that, and we started to like play around, experiment with my look, and you know, I told him, oh, we're making a music video for Misery Business, and I wanted to look like a comic book character. So, you know,
Girl after my own heart.
Yeah, he just made it happen, and that really was like the most amplified that we'd ever taken. Like, that was, you know, we had done oranges and reds kind of, but that was when it really became a thing. And that year, watching, I think people react not only to the band and the music, but even the imagery and the style and sort of the overall image of like who I was within the band. I think that was when it was very cool to me that you can start a conversation with hair, and makeup and fashion, you know. So I wouldn't say I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna like start a business now, but I think that was a moment for me to understand that it is like, it becomes a cultural thing, and then it becomes like an even larger conversation, because again, hair is emotional. So probably 2011 or 12 was when I kind of decided to like really, you know, I wanted to go for it.
Nice. So, Brian, you've been doing Hayley's hair for like 10 years.
Yep.
And how would you say you kind of like, her style's evolved, and maybe you've been a part of that?
I've pretty much been a part of it. I mean, yeah, anything from Riot on, and any of that album cycle forward I've been a part of, which has been really kind of crazy. And just like that becoming part of her image is weird, because at the time when I was telling the story to Leonora, our VP of marketing today, when I first met Hayley and she came into the salon in Franklin, she like sat down and I was like, well, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm in a band and we do music. And I was like, yeah, so does everyone else in this town. and now
like, sure.
Now I'm like, like every day, like I'm just like, well, here we are. Like, she wasn't lying. But I think Hayley is the most amazing thing, and I think why our friendship is so great and we work so well together is Hayley knows exactly who she is and what she wants. She doesn't waver from it. And so that's really nice, and it's been a collective like push and pull for 10 years. Like, she comes up with an idea and I may resist it a little bit or vice versa, which is really cool. But her style is, I mean, she always has a unique, it's just her. It's her thing. I can't even describe it. It's what makes her her. And so her hair, I mean, for me, her hair is, you know, it's been a lot of bright colors, and you know, she's talked about it even with After Laughter, and like, you know, it's been pretty heavy, and even the songs and what she was writing at the time, you know, like she really just needed to push a reset, and like that's why she's blonde, and we use Good Die Young to get her blonde and to do that, and it was kind of crazy to think like, here we are, we've started this business, we've been working on it for years, and now we're at the point where the world is seeing it, and so I'm just going to be blonde and I'm not going to do any color. But I think the good thing about Hayley is if you look back at any of her hair colors, it's exactly what she is feeling emotionally, internally, is always conveyed on the top of her head.
I totally get that. I'm
It's
like,
emotional.
yeah, it's funny. I kind of actually am in the midst of a reset myself, which
You're
is why
blonde.
I'm blonde, because
Yeah.
I'm like you, I'm like frequently evolving and changing hair
Yeah.
colors, and this is the first time in a long time I've just kind of like let it grow and like let
Yeah.
it be blonde again.
Did
and,
it
like, do
work
its
for you?
thing.
Does it work? Like, do you feel better?
I think so, yeah. It was nice to kind of just take a step back in a weird way from it. It's also the upkeep, and I mean, you're lucky because you have Brian to like help you
You're kinda
maintain
right.
this. But I
Yeah.
mean, for me, that was like a big thing, was that I was like, I love it, but it's also like, it's constantly evolving, and it's like a constant upkeep, so.
Yeah, if you are using it as a means for expression and emotions, I mean, gosh, every day might be different.
Well, and that was
you
the
know?
other thing. It would start to fade, and then I'd be like, okay, well, how do I strip this to do the next thing? Because I'm
Yeah.
ready. Because it would, it would very much was tied to how I was feeling.
That's the good thing, like with poser paste in that scenario.
Yeah.
Because there's no commitment.
Right,
And if you
so
don't even
let's-
want to bleach, and if you weren't even bleached, you don't
Right.
have to bleach your hair.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that,
Okay.
because these are like, maybe we can use them.
Yeah.
What
We
color
can.
should I do?
I mean, honestly, you can use any combination or all of them. or-
Let's do some. What do you think? Hot pink and hot orange.
Yes.
Ooh, I like those together.
Oh man.
Let's do it.
Speaking my language.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about, while we do this, how the poser paste is actually different from the semi-permanent dye.
It's a temporary paste. It's literally a styling paste.
Yeah.
So you can use it on any hair color, light, dark. I mean, even if you have a high fashion color, you can still put it on there and use it. And when you're done with it, it washes out in one wash. Like, and there's no, you don't have to bleach. There's no commitment.
So nice.
Yeah.
And it's what's cool about it is, because when we were deciding this, even when we were doing the semi-permanents for Good Die Young, we were thinking about poser paste before it was even poser paste or even going to be a paste.
Yeah.
We talked about doing a gel, we talked about doing a spray, and like even a hair chalk. And we were kind of going through the gamut of all of it and thinking like, well, it's all been done.
Right. Yeah.
Gel takes too long to dry. Chalk, you spend 20 minutes putting it in your hair, you step outside on a windy day and someone else is wearing it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then sprays, usually they're so heavy. Like, they're
They're,
heavy
like,
in the sense of
toxic.
like the way it smells
Yeah.
and like, you know, or sometimes it looks just, you can get too much in one area and not
Yeah.
enough in the other,
Right.
and inconsistency. So
This is pretty foolproof. If
it,
I can
it
do
basically
it,
encompasses
anyone can.
all of them.
Yeah.
We kind of said like, how can we put them all together? And I was like, well, no one's done a color paste,
Yeah.
Right.
so why can't we do that?
I actually have like a lot of the. I was like, go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
like, I actually have a bunch of the Good Die Young semi-permanents. I have a ton of them at home in
Sick.
different colors. I have like the pink and the orange and yellow.
That's awesome.
And I've been, honestly, I keep looking at them because, like I said, the reset.
Yeah,
I keep
yeah.
looking at them and being like, oh man, should I do
Is
it?
today the day?
And I've gotten really excited about this, like, because I was like, well, now I can just mess around with it from day to
Yeah,
day.
you can.
So I'm like, I already know I'm gonna like end up going out and buying every one of the colors.
That's so
But,
rad.
yeah, it's like you said, my experience with chalks or like gels have not been good.
Yeah, the same.
I also have really fine, thin hair, and so things like
Yeah.
gels, especially like chalk is better because it's dry, but gels especially, it just like
It's the
ends up
worst.
making me like look wet and flat.
Yep.
Like,
Well, I think we have super similar hair because mine's
Yeah.
very fine, and as it gets longer, like if we don't keep it trimmed, then I mean, look, I shed like crazy, But
Me
so
too.
what I like about this as we've been using it more and more. First of all, when I do it myself, I'm not with beauty. I'm not a perfectionist at all. I draw crappy shapes around my eyes, and I let them get runny throughout the day, and I don't care. I don't even like care if if this is uneven. Like that's me, and I don't. I like it that way if I'm doing it myself. But what I do love, I think the most about it is A, you can't really mess up, and B, for people who have like fine hair like that, it's a styling paste, and it actually builds really well, and it leaves this great like texture to it.
Yeah.
So I always kind of like when we have it in my hair, I always kind of feel like it feels very like voluptuous,
Yeah.
which is nice. If you do have fine hair, then you know what that
yeah,
feels
for
like.
sure. I was like, anybody that's
Yeah.
out there that like feels a similar struggle, it's like all about like building some sort of like
Yes.
a
But
volume there.
It's great on so many different types of hair. If you go, we have the website up right now, poserpaste.com, where people can pre-order it. And on there's some images, and we'll be pushing out more imagery before launch date and during the launch, the official launch, where you'll get to see it on so many types of hair just like ours.
Yeah.
You know, like crazy curly hair, like
Really
different
dark hair.
backgrounds.
Yeah, I saw one of the images of like one of the girls who had very dark curly hair, and it was like purple.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I imagine she mixed the pigments because these are you can mix and build on them.
Yes.
Yeah,
together, right?
we did Blue Ruin and X Girl on her,
Mm-hmm.
and you can change. I mean, that's the thing.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
Is you can kind of become, you know, the
Your
artist.
own artist, yeah.
And you know, if you want a deeper purple, add, you know, more Blue Ruin to it.
Right.
If you want a more lavender, lilac-y, add, you know, more X Girl and.
That's like endless possibility.
It is. It's really
That's so
fun.
fun. Oh my god, it smells good too.
Yes. Oh, we should mention that. So the semi-permanent dyes we launched with last year have bergamot and sunflower seed oil in them, which there's obviously great aromatherapy benefits. It's great for. It's sort of like it goes with the dye happy sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's meant to combat depression and anxiety because you know scents and fragrance helps, but we didn't want to use. We wanted to use real, like actual essential oils and not just artificial fragrance. So these we added. It still has bergamot. It still has sunflower seed oil, which is great UV protectant, but it also has sweet orange oil as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell that.
So it makes it kind of more of an experience, which I think that
I'll keep playing. so
like
just tell me
identity
stuff.
should be an experience. You know.
Yeah.
You should experience that and feel yourself getting ready and presenting yourself to the world. It's nice to make a moment out of it.
Yeah.
It looks intensely great. I love it so much.
Got a glimpse of it.
You're definitely like a pink and orange person, aren't you? Like,
Yeah.
you like the because
Yeah,
Same.
I'm like y'all's skin tone.
Yeah,
everything is very
it
similar.
just feels
so.
bright and
Yeah.
alive. It looks so good.
Thank you.
Whoa.
So, let's talk, I guess, about you just put that in my hair with your hands.
With my hands.
So does
And
it just
then-
wash off when you're?
Yep. When I'm ready, I mean, get me a sink and some soap, and
Yeah.
it'll just wash right off. Same
And
with your
styling
hair.
it with it in?
Styling it. So, like you were saying, how earlier you were saying you would do gels, and it would kind of feel flat. And
Weigh it down.
So you can get that if you want to. You can get that more wet kind of finish to it when you first put it in. I brushed it out with a brush, a boar bristle brush that Hayley had, and so that kind of breaks it down. Breaks it down in the sense it makes it a little bit softer, more manageable, and look more like your real hair.
Right.
So you get versatility. So you can do a wet look. You can do like a sleek type ponytail with it.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
have
love
that
it.
and like kind of layer it on and get that really kind of high fashion avant-garde, kind of really thick texture to it. Or you can comb it out, brush it out, whichever, and break it down so it's a little bit softer and movable.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you need it to be bolder, kind of keep doing that, layering it and combing it out so it kind of keeps the natural texture to your hair. If you have curly hair, I found it works best if you almost use it like a cream, like a curl cream, and scrunch it in so you don't disturb your natural curl.
Yeah.
So
you can heat style.
You can heat style
You
with
want
it.
curls.
That's impressive. actually.
Yeah, it impressed me because I did not know until we were at the photo shoot. I was like, you're putting a curling iron over it. I was like, burner hair.
Yeah, right.
And it looked so cool.
We have a
looked great.
how-to video that'll come out hopefully soon, and it shows all of it. I did all of it on one model.
Oh, wow.
We did steal my sunshine on her. You see me putting it on with my hands, and then I'm combing it out, and it's softer, and then I'm waving it with a flat iron. And so you kind of see the final result at the end of the video. And it's just, it's movable, and like some of it I wanted it to kind of look a little like beachy, grungier.
Yeah.
So she kind of has that, like, there's some soft parts to it, there's some chunkier parts to
I
it.
feel like that's a good fit for the sunshine one too.
Yeah.
So, and it looked really good on her. It looked really good with her skin. But yeah, you get a lot of versatility with it. And I think I've said this before, but when we were going into like, how do we tell people how to use this? Everyone's like, it needs to be very detailed, and this is, it's like, there's a lot to it. And I'm like, actually, we're making it way more harder than it needs to be, because it is so simple that we feel like we have to overtell. Like, people are gonna not get it but it's so simple. Like, and the good thing is if you're if you're not like, if you're just like any styling day, if you're like, oh, I put too much in or I did this, you can rinse it out and start, you know, like start over. Like
that
there's no,
easy,
you know,
yeah.
it's that easy. It's not like, oh my gosh, I've colored my hair and I hate it. Now I'm stuck
Yeah.
with it until it fades out.
There's like nothing quite as depressing as that. You're like, well.
This was a bad mistake. I should have never gone this color.
Yep. Oh, I have had that experience where I was like, that doesn't suit your skin tone at all. So, have you used all of the colors?
Yeah, actually, I've used blue the least. I've used, I mean, obviously orange is my favorite, Riot's my favorite, and X-Girl, I've used those the most. Steal My Sunshine I put on the first day we got samples, and I went over to like do something with the guys who were working. And we, you know, I have tried to not wear it for anything that we've taken photos in because I didn't want people to think that I dyed my hair, or, you know, I didn't want to give it away. But I've played with them a good bit. I might have put a little blue ruin on my dog Alf.
I mean, it's as we talked about earlier, it is safe, so nobody get mad. Just make your dog look cool.
I mean, he looked pretty cute. I didn't advertise it though, as to not disturb the piece on the net. But but you know, like I have played with him a good bit, and for me, if I can do it, like Brian obviously Brian can do anything with hair. He could literally make us right now look like anything he wanted, and makeup and hair, everything. But what makes me feel really good about us talking to people about this and telling them that it really is this simple is it's foolproof. I get up and I do it, and
She was doing her own bangs when you walked in.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't quite finish, but again, I don't, like, I'm not about it being perfect. I just want to, like, I just want expression. I just want to with my hands, make something. So, yeah, I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun for me as we move through the cycle. And I do, you know, right now, we talk about this daily. I do want to keep my blonde hair right now for this album, but now I don't have to commit to it for specific things here and there. I could, you know, be pink for a day if I want. You know?
This is like, excuse me. This is why I'm like so excited about it too, though. I feel like, you know, in my job, I'm like lucky to work in the kind of industry where I'm like, you know, I'm covered in tattoos, and I'm really not expected to look a certain way.
Right, yeah.
But however, there are days where sometimes I feel like I do want to look a little more polished and grown up, and like be able to like pull my hair back and like wear a pencil skirt and like, you know, kind of look more polished and go to a dinner or whatever it is. And you know, and then other days I can be like, I'm like really feeling my punk roots. And I'm like, I need to throw some color in this. You know?
I relate to that so much.
Yeah, like I love that. But so your makeup, your stage makeup, I've been seeing some pictures that you've been having a lot of fun with it.
So I told Brian, I said, you know, the whole thing with After Laughter has been Cry Hard, Dance Harder. And I knew this tour, specifically the tour 2 in the U.S., traveling around these cities, which the last time that we did this was 2015. That was a long time ago, actually. And especially when you think about just how much life happens within a year or two, it's gnarly. So I was like, wow, it's going to be really emotional for me, and I'm probably going to cry. How do we cover that up? But I just really wanted to, I think, pay tribute to the fact that this album has been an incredibly emotional time, not only for me, but for everyone involved with it. Taylor especially, you know, like he and I like started this album together before Zach came back, and then he came back and that was emotional in a whole other way. It's just been levels, you know. So being here, it's like this is a very cathartic tour. The shows themselves are very like, I can feel the feelings coming out with my sweat, you know? Yeah. So
oh my god, I totally understand that.
We've been having a good time kind of playing with that and making a visual representation of that on my face. And Brian sort of just created this look with like Pat McGrath glitters and NYX Cosmetics glitters, and like made something that we used for a video that'll be coming out soon, but we wanted to amplify it for stage.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I imagine then, in that context, that when the the poser paste is actually launched, like, is some of that going to come into play with the stage?
Dude, like, I feel like it can. I definitely feel excited to incorporate it, and you know, maybe it's not as consistent as the glitter tears on stage, but I think that's what's so great about it is like you can wake up and decide that you feel
You're like, I had a
Yeah.
dream
Yeah.
about this look.
Yeah. So I just kind of think it's gonna be nice for he and I both to be able to play without committing, because I'm eventually I'll be ready for that neon person to
Yeah.
like make an appearance in the mirror, even if it's just for a short time again. But
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, and this gives me a way to play with that and like express myself and then wash it out.
Totally.
It's actually coming at the best time for me as a person. Not to make it
Yeah.
about me, but it's just nice. And
I mean, hey, it's you guys' company, and it's like obviously been like spawned by a friendship and by
Yes.
expression and you hugely. So
we
did
really
it.
did it. Yeah.
Go.
Thanks, God.
Go us.
Yay.
So let's just wrap up, I guess, with like tell us. I don't know, like what the tour and
Yeah. Well, I want to give you something
Oh.
too. So this is these are your poser pastes.
Oh my God, thank you.
And we put them in this box that was designed by this Nashville design team called New Hat, and they're incredibly talented. And we really felt like what they do fits the aesthetic of kind of where we are and where we see ourselves going as well.
We've tried to
And
keep it all very Nashville.
Everything's
like the
Nashville
model,
based.
like, well, they're not even models. They were just people.
People.
But they're
Yeah.
in Nashville, and photographer and videographer are amazing, artistic, creative people in
Keep it in the
Nashville.
house.
And,
Yeah.
so we just kind of want to embrace that.
Thank you so much.
There's a really
Look at my
beautiful insert with instructions if you need it.
Oh wow! But like,
Um,
look how well this is made. This
Man,
is
they killed it
beautiful.
for us.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of course,
I'm gonna have
of
so much
course.
fun with this.
I hope you do.
Now I don't have to buy my first batch.
You don't.
I will go through this and then
Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy it. I'm really happy you came to hang out with us.
Yeah, me too. And
Yeah.
have a great show tonight.
Thank you.
And an amazing rest of tour. And you guys, please go catch them.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get to meet this guy too.
Yeah, maybe you will.
Floating around.
Poserface.com if you want to check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank